man, that looks wicked uncomfortable. So today, Doc Talks, we are going to be talking to you about 3 movements that can help negate or keep you out of that stiff holiday travel. So first things first, Dr. Besh is going to show you a really good hip stretch. This is perfect.
So after you've been either sitting in the car for a really long time, sitting on an airplane, on a bus, train, whatever, okay, you're stuck in a hip position where your hips are being closed down for a really long period of time. So how do we want to kind of counteract this tension that builds up in our hips because of sitting for a long time? Well, we have a nice stretch we can do called a kneeling lunge stretch, okay? Now, the most common thing that I see people doing that I'd like to correct is people just really leaning into it, okay? But if I'm really leaning into it, I can be putting extra strain on my knees, I develop a little bit of arch in my back, and there's a better way to do it, okay? So kneeling on the ground, protect your knee, whether you want to be on a towel, a pillow, anything like that is fine, okay? Facing forward, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to scoop my hips forward, and then I'm going to maintain this scoop as I now gently lean into it. So 1, you're keeping your back in a good safe posture, and then 2, I'm going to be able to feel a stretch on the front of my down leg a lot faster versus me just really kind of cranking into it, okay? So in that nice lunge position, nice and tall, scoop your hips forward, maintain that as you then gently reach into it, okay? And then you can just hang out here for a few seconds. Always make sure you're not bumping through it, okay? We don't want to see that. You can hang out here, gently come back up, maybe go into it again. And of course, do both sides. Both hips get awfully tight with travels.
Yeah. So cycle your breath as you're doing that. Try not to hold your breath. That's a really good one. So that's mainly focusing on opening up the front portion of the hip, keeping a good upright torso, not jacking your back up, not going into too much of an arch. Second movement, we're looking at the shoulder blades specifically. So typically, when we saw Dr. Betcher in that really crappy position in the beginning, we're going to see if we can get that out of that kind of rounded position, get nice and tall, and then we're going to act like we have a pencil sticking out the side of our shoulder here, and then we're going to have a piece of paper that we're drawing the biggest circle we can with our shoulder. So nice tall position, try to think grow from the top of your head, nice and tall. Reach with that shoulder all the way up, start drawing that circle, big circle. We're going to single arm first, all the way through that big rotation. So my upper back is getting work. My neck is getting a good tall posture. And then my shoulder blade is infusing a lot of blood into the area that might be really stagnant after being in that position. If you're traveling in an airplane and you're in one of those kind of bucket seats, it really jacks some of that stuff up. Then after you've done it on single side, if you get into arms down by the side and do both, we actually get a little bit of a chest stretch in this too. So we get here, same position, open up nice and tall. Try not to incorporate too much of the head going back and forward. Up, rotate through, and then going back forward, rotate through. That's your shoulder blade rotations. Definitely go after a seated position. Last one. This is easily done in off of a door jamb. So putting hand on door jamb and then taking the same leg and reaching it back and across. So reach around shoulder height, maybe a little bit higher than shoulder height, and then start sinking into it. Reach all the way across. I'm reaching and opening up my rib cage, everything through here, taking big breaths, pushing as much air as I can in through that area. That's called an ice skater stretch. So reach all the way across as much as you possibly can, get that big reach, get your rib cage to open up. Those are your 3 movements that can really help with your holiday travels. Check them out, try them out next time you're going on the airplane. No more than an hour flight and you'll probably need some of this stuff.